Hello everyone, welcome back to Webnestify channel. Today we are diving into the world of secure networking with a fantastic tool called Netbird. If you are ever struggled with complex VPN setups or worried about network security, stick around because Netbird might just be the solution you've been looking for. Netbird is an open source, zero configuration networking platform that makes creating and managing secure private networks incredibly simple. Imagine connecting all your devices securely without the hassle of traditional VPN configurations. Sounds great, right? So with Netbird, you get a peer-to-peer connection using WireGuard, which means no central VPN servers slowing you down. It's fast, secure, and perfect for modern network requirements. So let's break down what makes Netbird special and how it can benefit you. But before we jump into the Netbird, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support means a lot. So let's go. So as always, I have prepared some slides to get you more information about Netbird. So let's break it down. What is Netbird? How it can benefit you? Pricing, etc., etc. So first question, what is Netbird? Netbird is an open source networking platform designed for simplicity and security. It uses WireGuard for encrypted peer-to-peer connections. There is no need for complex VPN setups or centralized servers. So Netbird is a user-friendly open source platform that leverages WireGuard to create secure peer-to-peer network connections. It eliminates the complexity of traditional VPN setups and centralized servers, making network management straightforward. Why to use Netbird? There's zero configuration, easy to set up and use. There is direct, fast connections between all devices on the Netbird network. It also got enhanced security with encrypted tunnels. So Netbird offers a hassle-free, zero configuration setup, ensuring quick deployment and use. It provides fast, direct device connections with enhanced security through encrypted tunnels, making it an excellent choice for secure networking. What are the advantages? It eliminates the need for central VPN servers, simpler and quicker to deploy, improved performance with direct connections. Netbird outperforms traditional VPNs by removing the need for central servers, simplifying deployment, and enhancing performance through direct device connections, offering more efficient and secure networking solution. What are the use cases? Perfect for remote teams and hybrid work environments. Securely connect IoT devices and cloud services. Ideal for businesses of all sizes needing robust network security. So Netbird is versatile, suitable for remote teams, hybrid environments, IoT devices, and cloud services. It provides robust security for businesses of all sizes, making it ideal solution for diverse networking needs. What are the zero trust benefits of Netbird? Ensures only authenticated and authorized devices can connect. Reduces the risk of unauthorized access and data breaches. Maintains high security standards across all network connections. So implementing zero trust with Netbird ensures that only authenticated and authorized devices can access network resources, significantly reducing the risk of unauthorized access and data breaches while maintaining high security standards, which we all want in nowadays. What's the pricing? There are flexible pricing model to cater various needs. Self-hosted version is completely free. And there are also scalable plans for larger enterprises with advanced features and support. So Netbird offers a flexible pricing model, including a free tier for small teams and open source projects, and scalable plans for larger enterprises, making it cost-effective solution for secure networking with additional support and features. Alright, so let's jump into the Netbird website. Let me pause this. Alright, and on the website netbird.io, when you go to pricing, you can see that it is completely free for individual and small teams looking for to use and secure connectivity. It is $0 per month per user. You can have up to 5 users and 100 machine. So this is also on the cloud and also on the self-hosted. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can deploy your own Netbird server with a Zdatel user management software. And also I can show you briefly the cloud version of Netbird. And for the teams, the pricing starts at $5 user a month, and you get unlimited users, 100 machine plus 10 machine per each additional user. And also with business, which is $12 a month per user, you have the same 100 machine plus 10 machines per user. But you get advanced features like device approvals, device control with MDM and either integration, and also you can set up a posture checks on the business plan. So yeah, I'm going to now prepare the server for Netbird, and then we will continue installing the Netbird and configure it. Okay, so now what are we going to do is prepare our server, and we're gonna follow the official documentation. When you go to docs and self-hosted Netbird, and you go to quick start guide. Let me zoom in so you can see it, and as you can see, it will include everything. There's one script install, and the script will handle everything. It will install Netbird, Zdatel, IDP, etc. So when we check the requirements, we need at least one CPU, 2 gigs memory. The virtual machine should be publicly accessible on TCP port 80.443.33073 and 10,000, and also UDP ports and those kind of things. And as you can see, with self-hosted, you will need to open bunch of ports to public, which I don't very like to do it. You know, sometimes when I know that there are many ports open, I got that tingly feeling that something can happen because it is open to public. So you need to bear this in mind, right? All right, so we know the requirements, we know the firewall. So let us jump back to Hetzner, and first we're gonna create our firewall. Port 22 we need to keep open for now, so we can SSH into the server. Then we're gonna add TCP 80.443 and 33073 and 10,000. 33073 and also 10,000. And now we need to open UDP ports 3478. So let us jump back to UDP 3478 and another UDP, but this will be a port range of 49,152 until 65,535. So yeah, this is the mandatory firewall that you need to have open when you want to self-host Netbird. When the Netbird is deployed, I will show you we can completely disable public access to the server because everything will be handled by the local network from Netbird. So okay, let us name this firewall Netbird. I'm gonna create the firewall, and for the servers we're gonna add a new server. We're gonna use Germany. You can choose whatever country you want or the provider, and I like to do Debian 12, which is great. It's less resource intensive than Ubuntu, and we can use share CPU. And also I like to go with ARM64 architecture for Netbird. And as you can see, 2 CPU core, 4 gigs RAM is just €3 30 cents, which is insane price. Okay, we can disable public IPv6. SSH key is there. We're gonna use Firewall Netbird. You can enable backups. We don't need placement group. But now I'm going to add my cloud init config, so I don't need to spend time securing or setting up my SSH keys, my users, etc. Cloud init is great for automating many things. So let me just add my config. Okay, I have my config, and we're gonna name this netbird.webnestify.org, and we're gonna click and create and buy. Alright, so now we have our IP address. What we now need to do is to add this DNS or this IP address to our designated DNS record. So let me open Cloudflare, and we're gonna grab the server IP, and we're gonna name it A record Netbird, and make sure to disable proxy because Netbird does not work on the Cloudflare proxy. Okay, let me copy this URL and click save. And now what we need to do, the best practice is to also set up the reverse DNS. So when we go to the networking, reverse DNS, edit reverse DNS, and we're gonna point it back to our domain. Okay, that should be it. And now we can connect to our server via SSH. So let me connect to my new server prepared for the Netbird tutorial. And I already added my SSH key. And now I will need to change the password. And also I will prepare video for Cloud Init in the future, so you can also use it and automate some various things. So, okay, I added my new password. Let me connect back. And also the great thing is that I'm using SSH key with YubiKey support, which is very secure. So we need to always authenticate by touching the hardware key. So let me elevate myself into the root. And when we see update, everything should be all up to date. So now one thing is left, and that is to create or install our Docker. And to install Docker, you can use this convenient script that you can find almost in any guide that I have on docs.webnestify.com. You can copy this and it will automatically install all necessary packages, Docker Compose, etc. So let's move back to the terminal. And we are going to install the Docker. Alright, Docker is installed. So let me clear, and you also want to add yourself to the Docker group. So it will be user mode AG Docker Webnestify. And Webnestify user is the main user who can do the administrative tasks on the server. And now the crucial part is also that we want to create user also for the Netbird, but it won't have sudo privileges, but it will have only Docker privileges. So let me just add it. Add user Netbird user, strong and complicated password. Yes, and now we need to add this user also to the Docker group. So user mode AG Docker Netbird user. Perfect. And now we need to switch from root to the Netbird user. So we're gonna do switch user Netbird user, and we're gonna navigate to our home directory. Alright, now it's time Now it's time when we install the one-click convenience script from the Netbird. So let me go back to the Netbird quick start guide. Also, we need to probably install JQ, which we don't have by default on Debian. So let me briefly switch to the terminal. And I will probably keep it this way. So now when we exit from our user, we should go back to our root. So it will be apt install JQ. Yes, confirm. And now we have JQ installed. So let me close this window. And we can copy the installation script, which is here. You can copy it. We go back to terminal. We're gonna switch user back to the Netbird user. Navigate to home. And we're gonna paste this script. But make sure to change this domain here, otherwise it will not work. So it will be netbird.webnestify.org. You can press enter. And now the script is going to prepare everything for us. So give it a couple minutes and then we will continue. Alright, as you can see, Netbird have been installed and we have some credentials that we will need to log in and then change it. So let me copy this URL, switch back to our browser, open a new tab, and as you can see, we need to add our admin username and also the admin password. So let me disable this terminal so you can see it clearly. Okay, so we're gonna do admin netbird.webnestify.org, specify the password, and now you will be prompted to set up the two-factor authentication. You can skip it, but I don't recommend it. Always set up 2FA or passkeys wherever you can. It's really mandatory. So let me save these credentials also in Bitwarden. Should be there. And we're gonna set up the device. We can name this passkey Bitwarden. And we're going to add the security key to our Bitwarden. And I'm going to choose which account. Save passkey. We're gonna click next, and now we're gonna also change again for new and secure password. So let me generate some strong password. Gonna click next. Let me also save it. And the Bitwarden, of course. Gonna click next. Verify two-factor. And we should be now in our main Netbird account. But before we're gonna install or download Netbird to our computer, what we need to do is switch to the Citadel UI. So it will be UI/console, if I'm right. Alright, so if you are following along, you should already be on this Citadel interface where you can manage all the users. So to tell you something about Citadel, it is identity infrastructure simplified for you. It is fully open source project and it can replace IDP Okta or any other proprietary closed source identity providers, which is really great. And also the main benefit is that Citadel with Netbird comes pre-configured, so you don't need to do anything to set up the integration. And also with Netbird, you can use various IDP providers like Authentic, Authelia, but you will need to configure it yourself manually. So that's it for the Citadel. So let's switch back to the Citadel Netbird console. And first thing what I like to do is to change basically my username, and I wanna be named Citadel admin. I'm gonna be Simon Netbird, and Citadel name is gonna be Simon. You can click save, and that should be it. For the password and security, you can also set up your own passkeys. You can add YubiKeys, passkeys, two-factor, etc., etc. As we already set up the Bitwarden, we don't need it. For the identity providers, there's nothing. Memberships, as you can see, I am the owner, which is completely fine. Alright, so let's go back from the Citadel, and we can now continue to the Netbird. So let me log out, and we should be also be logged out from the Netbird. So let me just remove this, go to Netbird. Let me also log back out so we can see the process. I'm gonna click login. We're gonna use the password, and now with Bitwarden we will be prompted to use the passkey. And click confirm. Alright. And now let me walk you through the Netbird interface and this kind of things. I try to simplify many things, because if I have to talk about everything it would take a couple hours, because Netbird is very, very powerful, and what you can do is just insane in Netbird. So let me go you through these most important things that I think you should know. So first, the dashboard peers. Peers mean list all the machines and devices connected to this private network. And we will add our devices later. For the setup keys, those are how you can authenticate your server with the setup keys. So first, let us create the setup key, and you can name the setup key however you want, but I like to keep everything tidy, so I will name it my servers. If you want to enroll more devices as this setup key, you need to change to make this key reusable. You can set usage limit if you want, and also you need to set expires in. So I like to set it every 1 year. So every year you will need to re-authenticate. And for the groups, you also want to separate it, so we're gonna add my servers. I'm gonna click enter, and now we have the group my servers, and we can create the setup key. So make sure to copy the setup key to your clipboard and save it in the password manager, because you're gonna need it later. So let me just briefly add it to the to my text editor. And another setup key what you want to create, for example, if you have customer servers or you manage servers for anyone else, you also will need to create these setup keys. So yeah, that's the really great thing, how we can separate everything on the network. For the access control, by default we have policy from sources to any group, to any peers, and of direction in or out, so everything can communicate, which by zero trust meaning we don't want this. So we're gonna click delete these policies, we're gonna add a policy, and on the protocol you can specify which protocol you want to use. Most often what you just want to do is to set up the SSH, which is TCP, and port 22 if you did not change the default port. And if you want to use also FTP, you can specify port 21. And from the source, we're gonna add this policy only from my servers to my servers. And if you're going to have more groups or customers, then you select which group you want to edit. And we don't need the destination server to be communicating with the source server. So we can disable this. So we can only connect from our machine to the remote machine. We can click continue. Posture checks, as I mentioned, is really great feature. So let me show you. So we can, for example, do the countries or region. But usually I like to do that operating system Linux is equal or greater the kernel version, or you can also set up the posture check to not communicate if the Netbird version is not updated, which is great. But I'm not going to over this on this video. So we can click cancel, you can click continue, and as you can see, devs to server, or we can do this my servers. And we have the policy that only communicates on port 22 and 21. About the network routes, there's a lot going with network routes, but for the standard usage, there's nothing to talk about. You can also add your own DNS in the future if you want. And also you can manage the team, which we are the admin. And that's basically it. So now what we want to do, we want to add our main computer where you are right now. And as you can see, it can be Linux, it can be Windows, macOS, iOS, Android, or even Docker. Since I'm on the Windows, so I'm going to download the Netbird installer. And now I'm going to install it. Alright, so let me install the Netbird. And we're gonna go with the next. Let me see so we can see. I agree, install. And we can start the Netbird. So let me move back the window. Sorry. And you should see the Netbird icon in your taskbar. So you need to double click. Okay, you cannot see it. Let me check. So when you go right click on the taskbar on the Netbird icon, you go to settings, advanced options, and now you will need to enter the management and admin URL. So let me copy this, add it to the management admin, save the key. And now when you right click and connect, you should be presented with the login information that you have been logged in successfully, which is what we want. So let me go back to the Netbird, and as you can see, the Webnestify workstation on your main workstation is up and running. Perfect. So we want to also add this workstation to the group, which is my servers. You can click save changes, and that's it. Perfect. And now what we want to do, we want to enroll any server that you want to add. So let me go back to the Hetzner. I'm gonna add a new server. Gonna be the same, Debian, shared CPU, that's fine. Firewalls, we will create a new firewall for this. So let us go back to the firewall, and we need to keep enable the IPv for port 22 for now, and that's it. We just need this one, right? We can name it like this, that's fine. Just for demonstration, I'm gonna add a server, Debian, add this, firewall 1, and Netbird user. Gonna create and buy. Gonna add this IP to the terminus. Let me go to Vaults, add a new host. It will be Netbird demo, Netbird user. And I think by default it is root Webnestify, and we should be able to connect. Okay, we are in the server, and now we're going to enroll our server. So let me go back to the peers. We're gonna add a new peer. It will be Linux. So first we're gonna need to install the Netbird packages. So let me copy that. You can install it. It will be pretty quick. Okay, and now we need to enroll our server with command netbird app. But before it, you need to check the documentation. And I think it will be, where is it? Quick start guide. Peers, setup keys. So we're gonna need to add Netbird app setup key, and also we will need to probably specify our domain. So we will need to add Netbird app, management URL, the domain we set up for the Netbird, and now also you need to add the setup key that we created. So let me copy the setup key from my clipboard. Just paste it, press enter, and now as you can see, we are connected. Let me go back to our peers, and as you can see, we already have the Netbird user server. Alright, and as you can see for the addresses, this is a really great feature for the Netbird, because what we can do now, we can open the server, we can do firewall, and we can completely remove the firewall. So the server will not be publicly accessible on any ports. Let me remove it, save changes, and that's it. So now the server is only listening for the local connections. There's no outside connection that can be set it up on the server. Alright, so let's go to the peers, and as you can see, each server will get each private IP, and in the way how you can connect, instead of IP, you will use this domain. So you can copy this domain into the clipboard, and we are connected still to Netbird. So let me open a terminal, and when we do ping, we should be already getting the pings. Let me check. Alright, it's fine. So we are online, everything is working. So let me refresh this. And now we can copy this local address. You can go back to the terminal. And instead of IP, the public IP, you can just paste this local domain, right? And you can click connect. And as you can see, now we connected through the Netbird network via local IP, local domain, which is amazing. Okay, so yeah. So there you have it. We've got our Netbird server installed, and I walk you through some of the basics to get started. As you can see, Netbird is a comprehensive tool, and it would take hours to cover everything in detail. For those of you looking for more advanced settings and use cases, I've added some great videos in the description that dive deeper into what Netbird can do. This tutorial is more catered to busy business owners, where simple FTP or SFTP setups might be all you need. As I mentioned earlier, I'm not too comfortable having too many ports open to public for obvious security reasons. That's why I highly recommend starting with Netbird software as a service plans. With SaaS, you don't have to worry about managing your servers, or spending time configuring various settings. But if you are set on having your own Netbird infrastructure, this video should help you deploy it. And if you need someone to handle it for you, don't hesitate to reach out to Webnestify. I'd be happy to help with your business needs. And also, if you are interested in learning more about the benefits of Netbird and Zero Trust security model, be sure to check out the blog post I've written. The link will be in the description. So, are you interested in learning more about Netbird? Would you like to have your question answered in a live stream with Netbird team? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you everyone for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on any future content. See you in the next one.